Oh, for spacious skies, for amber plains of grain, for purple mountains' majesties above the fruited plain. America, America, God shed thine grace on thee, and crown thy good with brotherhood from sea to shining sea. Oh, beautiful for pilgrims' feet, whose stern impassioned stress a thoroughfare of freedom beat across the wilderness. America, America, God mend thine every flaw, confirm thy soul in self-control, thy liberty in love. Oh, beautiful for heroes prove in liberating strife, who more than self their country love, and mercy more than life. America, America, may God thy gold refine, till all success be nobleness, and every gain divine. Oh, beautiful for patriot dream that sees beyond the years, thine alabaster cities gleam, undimmed by human tears. America, America, God mend thine every flaw, confirm thy soul in self-control, thy liberty in law, and crown thy good with brotherhood from sea to shining sea.
William Penn, expelled from Oxford, disowned by his father, and imprisoned in the Tower of London for his beliefs, embodied the spirit of those who settled Pennsylvania and Franklin County. They came seeking freedom, opportunity, and a land that could sustain both body and soul. Franklin County lies in the heart of the Great Appalachian Valley, a landscape named by the Lenni Lenape for its endless hills, clear waters, and rich forests. Its valleys, Path, Horse, Bear, Amberson, Cove Gap, and Little Cove offered beauty and abundance that drew settlers west. Scots-Irish pioneers arrived first, followed by German immigrants whose skill and perseverance helped the county grow.
Settlement in Franklin County began in the 1730s in what was called the Conococheague Settlement, named for the waterway whose Lenape name means a long way indeed. Early settlers built homes, mills, and churches as word spread of good land and abundant water. As settlement expanded, native hunting and fishing grounds disappeared, straining relations and leading to raids on frontier families. Forts such as Chambers Fort and Fort McCord offered a protection, but violence grew as the Delaware allied with the French during the French and Indian War. In 1764, Delaware warriors attacked Enoch Brown's school near Greencastle, killing the schoolmaster and 9 children, an act even condemned by Chief Meekawis. It was a brutal period marked by fear, retaliation, and a bounty on native scalps issued by Governor John Penn.
Not every Indian attack ended in death. Some settlers were taken captive to replace lost family members or to trade. In 1755, James Smith of Franklin County was seized while working on the Braddock Road. He was adopted into a Mohawk family, escaped, was captured by the French, and eventually returned home. Frontier attacks continued through the French and Indian War. To protect settlers, the British built a chain of forts, including Fort Loudon, which served as a supply base for the Forbes Road and campaign that drove the French from Fort Duquesne. After the war, tensions eased but never disappeared. Traders still sold banned weapons to native tribes, endangering settlers. James Smith and his men, the Black Boys, destroyed contraband goods, clashed with traders, and confronted the British at Fort Loudon. In 1765, after a 6-hour siege, the British surrendered the seized weapons and abandoned the fort, an act of colonial rebellion a decade before the Revolution.
Thompson's Rifle Battalion, authorized by the Continental
I, James Smith, and my Rangers actively fought against British soldiers at Fort Loudon. These British soldiers fought against us 5 times. I, James Smith, and my Rangers fought against British soldiers stationed at Fort Loudon at 5 different times. 5 different skirmishes we fought against them. We even kidnapped their commander, Lieutenant Grant. You must remember, in November of 1765, as Pennsylvanians built Fort Loudon in 1756, we retook and claimed Fort Loudon in 1765.
Congress on June 14, 1775, recruited riflemen from Franklin County. Company A, led by James Chambers and accompanied by his 12-year-old son Benjamin, marched with units from Pennsylvania, Maryland, and Virginia to Boston. They fought through the long years of the Revolution and helped secure American independence. By then, the settlement had grown to about 13,000 people, many traveling up to 40 miles to Carlisle for county business. In 1784, the legislature approved a new county carved from Cumberland. On September 9, 1784, Franklin County was officially created, named for Benjamin Franklin, with Chambers Town as its seat. Wasting no time, Colonel Benjamin Chambers conveyed land on September 24, 1784, for a courthouse and public buildings, the site where the old courthouse still stands today.
Franklin County had post offices in Chambersburg, Greencastle, and Shippensburg. Chambersburg was placed on the Philadelphia-Pittsburgh Postal Road in 1803, later rebuilt as the Chambersburg-Bedford Turnpike. State funding in the 1820s expanded major roads across the county, strengthening its transportation network. The Cumberland Valley Railroad arrived in 1837, and until the Pennsylvania Railroad's main line opened in 1857, the fastest route from Pittsburgh to Philadelphia ran by stagecoach to Chambersburg, then by rail east. Farming remained central, supported by mills, factories, and trade along these routes. Inventors George Frick and Peter Geiser revolutionized agriculture with steam-powered machinery. By 1850, Franklin County's population topped 39,000, 3 times its size at founding, marking a period of rapid growth and rising questions of ethics, respect, and freedom across America.
From 1830 to 1860, the Underground Railroad helped tens of thousands escape slavery, and Franklin County, just north of the Mason-Dixon line, held nearly 100 miles of hidden routes. In Mercersburg, barber Jacob Bazin and his son George guided hundreds of freedom seekers. Others crossed South Mountain into Rouserville and found refuge at Thaddeus Stevens' Caledonia Ironworks, working safely among free men and fellow travelers. By 1859, Franklin County had become John Brown's northern base. He moved quietly through Mont Alto, Greencastle, and Chambersburg, appearing to most as an older man who mixed mining work with a little fishing. On October 16, 1859, John Brown raided Harper's Ferry and was captured by Marine troops under command of Robert E. Lee. After a trial in Charlestown, he was sentenced to hang.
I, John Brown, am now quite certain that the crimes of this guilty land will never be purged away but with blood. I had, as I now vainly think, flattered myself that it could be done without very much bloodshed.
My uncle, President James Buchanan, is deeply troubled by the state of the nation and does not want to see it divided. Compromise, Uncle says, is a way to preserve the Union. I love my uncle. He has been a godsend to my life, showing me the world and allowing me to do more than women of my generation could ever imagine. Yet these tensions are deep, and though I tell him that God will guide the nation, I do worry about my country and my uncle.
By Lincoln's inauguration on March 4, 1861, 7 states left the Union. President Lincoln declared the secessions legally void and vowed to maintain possession of federal facilities for the United States of America. 5 weeks later, on April 12, 1861, Confederate troops shelled Fort Sumter. Word of the shelling reached Chambersburg by telegraph, and Franklin County would never be the same.
The time is July 1864. 15,000 Confederate troops, commanded by General Jubal Early, are moving through the Shenandoah Valley, damaging rail lines and disrupting the Union supply chain. Confederate General Robert E. Lee is using Early and his forces to threaten Washington, D.C., hoping the pressure will force Union General Ulysses S. Grant to move troops away from Petersburg, Virginia, to protect Washington, D.C. Throughout the summer of 1864, Grant used Union forces to pressure Petersburg, where 5 train lines converged, knowing control of Petersburg would isolate and stifle the Confederate capital of Richmond. On July 4th, 1864, Jubal Early's Confederate force captured Union supplies in Martinsburg and Harper's Ferry. 2 days later, Early's men crossed the Potomac and entered Maryland. On July 9th, at the Battle of Monocacy, Union forces slowed Early's advance and allowed enough time for Union reinforcements to reach Washington, D.C. On July 11th and 12th, Early and his troops reached the outskirts of Washington, D.C., attacked Fort Stevens, skirmished for 2 days, and, unable to make headway, retreated. On July 25th, 1864, Confederate forces seized Martinsburg. In the days following the occupation of Martinsburg, General Jubal Early reflected on the destruction of the Shenandoah Valley and considered his next action.
Step back to a hot July day. Franklin County communities were growing and changing. The county's population was about 45,000. Farming was still a mainstay, and acre after acre of farmland spread across the Mason-Dixon line into the great Appalachian Valley. It was in the midst of the Civil War. After Franklin County served as a training ground for Union soldiers, and the Cumberland Valley Railroad carried supplies into the Shenandoah Valley. After Jeb Stuart raided Franklin County in 1862, relieved it of horses, clothing, food, and hostages, even after the Great Invasion of Pennsylvania in June 1863, when 75,000 Confederate soldiers camped throughout Franklin County, flying their flags over Waynesboro and Chambersburg before moving on to the battle at Gettysburg and the retreat through Monterey Pass. At no time was war closer to the people of Franklin County than on July 30th, 1864.
Mr. Sharp, look over there. It looks like there are Confederates in front of the hotel. I wonder what they could be up to.
They're probably up to no good, Jacob.
Well, it's another hot day in July.
Yeah.
We've had so many of them this July. But it's the 30th already, nearly the end of the month. But I expect we will have a blazing hot August as well. Oh, just look at the sun beating down on top of the county courthouse. It could be any Saturday here in Chambersburg, except for whatever those rebels are doing over there.
I hope they enjoyed their breakfast at the Franklin Hotel.
They probably paid with Confederate script, you know. They took all of my chickens, and they left me nothing but this worthless Confederate script.
Jacob, I saw them coming out of the neighbor's smokehouse with their hands. And then they were scaring the children. And then on top of that, they took the laundry right off the clothesline.
You know, Mrs. Ludwig, she was baking some bread in her summer kitchen. When she goes out to check on the bread, all of the loaves are gone.
Huh.
You know, and I heard that they were asking about Ludwig's brewery and the apothecary.
Well, I tell you, Jacob, look at them now, they're bedeviling our town folk.
Well,
Is that right? Yeah.
There are a lot of things that we can take here. You, sir, I'm talking to you. That sure is a nice looking shirt you have on there. It's also a pair of nice sturdy shoes. What size are those? Doesn't matter. Give them to me because my men can use them either way. And what is in this? I think I'll be taking a little bit of this. Oh, that is some fine Pennsylvania whiskey we have there. Well, howdy do, ladies. For a bunch of northerners, you sure are looking very pretty.
Let me alone, please.
Yes, sir.
Peter, wait to order.
Yes, sir.
You are a brave young lady for standing up for yourself. Sehr gut.
Yes, you are.
oh, is that thunder I hear in the distance? Maybe we will have some relief from this heat after all.
Nein, Jakob, I think I may be artillery. Yeah, that was definitely a cannon.
You know, I think we might have something more than cannon fire to worry about. I hear horses. Many, many horses.
Citizens of Chambersburg! Citizens of Chambersburg, gather around now! Gather around! Get your families! Your friends! Come on now, get over here! Get over here! Gather around now! Gather around now! General John McCausland is here, and he demands your attention.
Do not be foolish. Gather the leaders of your town. This is a matter of great importance.
Jakob, what's this laws? Why are they gathering us together?
I do not know, but I have a feeling we are going to find out very soon.
People of Chambersburg, I'm here on official business of the Army of Northern Virginia. I'm General John McCausland, and I bring orders from General Jubal Early. Move closer, you must listen. The armies of the Confederacy have seen the devastation of the Shenandoah Valley. General Early witnessed with his own eyes the charred remains of burned homes, barns, and businesses. And he has decreed that it is therefore time to open the eyes of the people of the North to the enormity of those actions by an example of retaliation. The town of Chambersburg has been selected as the site for such retribution. I shall read his proclamation. By order of General Jubal Early of the Army of Northern Virginia, Chambersburg is hereby ordered to pay $100,000 in gold or $500,000 in Yankee greenbacks. If this demand is not met, Chambersburg is to be burned. So talk among yourselves, gather your resources, and pay this ransom, else your town will be burned.
These orders are official. This is serious.
This is real. You pay up, or you'll know.
The ransom demand is clear.
You better come together and pay the ransom because we do have our orders.
Yeah.
This cannot be! We cannot pay so much!
Use your time wisely and gather the money.
Straight inside. Open your bank vault. Bring your valuable. You there? Yes, you there in the brown. Bring that man to me.
Son,
Who are you, sir? What is your name? What is your role in this town?
My name is Jacob Oak. I am a merchant here on the diamond and one of the leading citizens of Chambersburg. My friends, my family, neighbors, we have all worked very hard to build the houses, businesses, and the community that we have here. How can you ask us to pay this money? We do not have this kind of money. Let me assure you, sir, Chambersburg does not have that kind of wealth. We are a community of simple farmers and merchants. We are a humble and generous people, but we cannot afford what you are telling us.
Well, we are generous and good people in the South as well, sir. You misunderstand. This is nothing personal. This is war. I'm General John McCausland, the Confederate commander, and I come here with orders from General Jubal Early. Now, he has decreed the town to be ransomed, so you are going to pay, else your town will be destroyed.
We have been raided. We've been occupied, liberated, and occupied again. This is more than any town's share of war. We have met our struggles before, and we will continue to do so.
Yeah, okay. You go ahead and think about gathering up those resources and paying this ransom instead of waiting on someone to ride in and save you. If my commanders could step forward. Men? Colonel Peters, what is the status on the men on the Western Heights and the other approaches, the roads into town?
Pickets have been placed on all approaches to the town. Now, scouts report that there's Yankee cavalry about 10 miles south there in Greencastle. I believe it's April, with a force equal to our own.
April. Well, we've ripped April before, haven't we, boys? Yeah. Whipped him good. I have no doubt we can do it again, but I do not wish to fight him here. These people may think we are a pack of devils, but I will spare them the hells of war if I can.
He hasn't moved yet. He may not wish to fight us here. He may actually wish to ambush us on our way south, on our way to Potomac, thinking we'll take the same route Stuart did in '62.
Well, poor Jeb is gone now. God rest his soul. And our mission here is quite different than his ride around McClellan.
Well, sir, if he doesn't fight us here, might give these town folks might get a ransom if we give them a bit more time.
I doubt it, Colonel. I doubt it, Colonel. Either these townsfolk are stubborn or maybe they don't take us seriously. Regardless of their reasons, we can't afford to fall into the Yankee trap. But I won't tolerate too much stalling from these obstinate farmers, neither.
General McCausland, sir, $500,000 is more than twice the demand for Frederick City in Maryland. We were able to collect $200,000 from Frederick. Perhaps for a town of this size, the demand is too high.
General Johnson, these orders come directly from Jubal Early himself. I'm compelled to obey them, as are you. Now, you've seen these orders. You know they cannot be changed. So instead of countermanding me, you need to be keeping an eye out for those Union reinforcements and organizing your men into different parties here in town.
Yes, sir.
Major Gilmore, have we secured more barrels of kerosene? Very good.
I must speak with General McCausland.
All right, let him through.
You have confiscated more items, medical supplies, clothing, and much, much more. Maybe if we can give you some grain, silage, and some hay, that will be sufficient to ransom Chambersburg.
I don't need any of that, sir. I need you to open up your pockets,
Your ladies' purses over here, your bank vaults across the way. Open them up, find what it is you claim you do not have, and give it to us before your town is destroyed.
Let us reason with one another. You have spoken of the devastation in the South. Perhaps your own neighbors, friends, your family. Why would you wish to perpetuate the same result on the poor defenseless people of Chambersburg?
We have seen the destruction, haven't we, boys? Destruction brought by the same armies you're hoping will rescue you today, Mr. Hope. Those same armies have been very busy burning women and children out of their homes throughout the Shenandoah Valley.
What kind of men are you? What kind of laws or rules of war do you follow that allow you to make war on people who cannot defend themselves?
You ask what kind of men we are? My ranks, they're filled with farmers, merchants, carpenters, ordinary men caught up in extraordinary circumstances. I was a professor at the Virginia Military Institute before this war began. It was my cadets who guarded your own John Brown after his failed insurrection in Harper's Ferry. So, you ask what kind of men we are? We are the men Virginia relies upon to beat back the waves of endless northern invaders that have rolled down out of Pennsylvania and the other Yankee states. For what? To do nothing more than wage a relentless war of aggression against their own brethren below the Mason-Dixon.
General, what you are demanding of us is more than we can give. We have already told you that we are unable to meet your ransom demands. Most of the men in town refuse to pay even a partial tribute. The banks have sent all of the money east. I assure you, our hands are tied in this matter. General, I believe you will regret what you are doing here if you live to regret anything at all.
The ransom demand is clear. Time is short, and I will not negotiate the spoils of war.
Please, we are women and children and grandparents.
Our children! This is so terrible!
Men, I can see now this ransom demand will not be paid.
We have worked so hard, it makes no sense.
So many of our community are women and children. Where are we to go? Where are we to live?
Please spare us.
We will begin the burning here at the courthouse.
Oh, no, stop! No, this is not right.
Mercy, is there nothing we can do to stop this senseless destruction?
Stop moving those kerosene barrels, men.
You heard him? Go ahead.
No, stop this!
I want them over there, a couple over here in this corner too.
One barrel here.
Oh, no.
I want the next barrel I want to put right here. Right in the center of the town.
No.
Right here. I want another barrel put right here.
Please, someone stop this.
And then anything else we have left, we'll go out there on the courthouse steps.
Wow, he's pretty strong. No, stop.
Everything ready, men?
Everything's ready.
Fire the town!
You are a godly man. I beg you to stop these horrible acts.
And if you are a godly man, you must understand that your town's fate is in God's hands. By your refusal, you have sealed that fate. It was your General David Hunter that began this destruction down in Virginia, where Southern families lost their homes and more. So I ask you, sir, where are those godly men of the Union? Where are they now? Where were they when those atrocities were committed?
We did not begin this war. Nothing good can come of this terrible thing you do.
Men, I want a squad over there. Fire the Franklin Hall from within.
Leave.
That's right. Perhaps Chambersburg's sacrifice will stop your Yankee armies from making war on the defenseless and innocent citizens of the Confederacy. You proud Pennsylvanians have refused to pay. Now, the devil is to pay.
With each passing minute, another family was left homeless, as if the blazing heat of July was not enough. Young, old, and sick were left without a home to shield them.
The entire heart of town is ablaze. Walls are crumbling and the smoke is so thick. People are fleeing. The stables are afire and no one has been able to release the livestock. It looks as if the paper mill has been fired too. Black swirls of smoke are blowing from the factories along the Conacajay Creek.
Look, so much smoke is coming from North Main. They're burning in every direction. People are fleeing into the alleyways with just the clothes they're wearing. Rebel soldiers are not allowing them to take anything from their homes. Sacred family relics, keepsakes, portraits of deceased friends, and old family Bibles they snatched from people's hands. They're beating in the doors with man's arms, or heavy planks, smashing up furniture with an axe, throwing oil on it, and flying the match. For 2 hours, the work of desolation continued. More than half the town is burning. The wild glare of the flames, the shrieks of women and children, louder than all the terrible blasphemy of the rebels. It is such an unbelievable scene of horror.
The widow and the fatherless continue to plead in vain, but are not spared. They are helpless to stop the Confederate orders, and shortly will be homeless. As all hope of mercy closes, the pleading town folk flee.
A little more kerosene over here. A little more over there too. Colonel Peters, I want you to take a detachment of men, find the Mansion House and Town Hall, then move south on Main Street.
Colonel McCausey, sir, is this being done by your order? There are women and children here, sir. This ain't right.
General Jubal Anderson Early, my commander and yours, has issued these orders to ransom the town.
Sir, I have honored the Confederacy and Virginia voted for secession. But I would rather resign my commission and break my sword to carry out this order.
Colonel Peters, you have indeed served gallantly. You may have need of that sword before too long. However, I cannot tolerate such insubordination. Therefore, consider yourself relieved of duty and placed under arrest.
I will take my leave, sir. Major Gilmore, form up the men and march them out west. You're in command now.
Major Gilmore, I want you to take a detachment of men, fire the Mansion House, and move south on Main. Then I want a team over there at the Masonic Temple to prevent its burning.
Soon, not a house or building 2 blocks north, south, east, or west of the diamond will be standing. People are fleeing to the cemeteries and fields around the town. Many are women, children, and older residents. Most are in shock.
Invariably, the Confederate soldiers entered every room of the home and rifled through the contents of each room, appropriating money, jewelry, watches, and any valuables, often holding a pistol to the heads of the home's occupants and demanding money for their lives. In some instances, the townspeople offered bribes, and even when the soldiers accept the bribery, the homes are burned anyway.
Major Gilmore? Yes, sir. Have your men completed the destruction of Alexander McClure's home to the north of town? Yes, all has been fired and is burning. Very good. As it should be, because Alexander McClure is an ally of Lincoln. That's right. He has criticized our Confederacy in his newspaper for far too often.
Over there, rebels are seizing a flag which the lady happened to have in her house. With some difficulty, she wrestled it from their grasp, folded it around her person, and walked away from her burning house, past the fair soldiery, determined that that flag should become her shroud.
A woman and her children were ordered from their home as furniture throughout the home was broken and doused with kerosene. Citizens looked on with dismay at the destruction of their lifelong labor and industry. Many, seeking refuge, fled to the cemetery, and there, in the midst of death, a woman gave birth to her firstborn child.
General Johnson, have your scouts reported any approach by April?
No movement has been reported.
Very good. I believe our work is done here.
Men, form all companies. Rejoin the main body. Move to the high ground. Stay alert for Yankee cavalry.
General, has your glorious cause been served by this senseless destruction of Chambersburg?
I find no glory in this devilish business, sir. It's a damn shame it's come to this, and I may be damned along with it.
Only the outskirts of Chambersburg remain. The courthouse, town hall, bank, German Reformed printing establishment, every store and hotel in the town, and every mill and factory in the center of the town. And at least 300 and 400 dwellings are burning, and 2 churches are blazing. 3/4 of the town is destroyed.
Crumbling walls, stacks of chimneys, and smoking embers are all that remain of once elegant and happy homes. The large Franklin Hotel, the arcade buildings, John B. Cook's houses and tannery, Riley's Hotel, the late Matthew Gillen's large dwelling, J.F. Wolfhill's stores and dwelling, Brewers and Mrs. Joseph Chambers' beautiful residence are among the many valuable properties on the street in ruins.
As a final act of destruction, they stopped by the residence of the county superintendent of schools and burned his house because, as they told his family, he thought Negro.
Soon the hunger of the little ones added new horror to the scene. Families were separated, and distracted fathers and mothers could be seen everywhere, seeking amid the confusion for those that were missing.
Fire and smoke went up into the sky as if to call down God's vengeance on the incendiaries. Paper was scattered across the county as if to bear witness to what happened. Many a soldier could be seen, hardened as they were to the horrors of war, weeping over the desolation they had made. Many were crying out, "I never enlisted for this!"
For miles around, the frightened inhabitants fled, they knew not whither. Some continuing their flight until they dropped to the ground in exhaustion. Pocketbooks, watches, clothing, valises, all fell out of women's and children's hands on the ground or were thrown there carelessly.
In 4 to 5 hours, Town was reduced to ashes.
General Early's orders had been completed, and the Confederate troops retreated.
Within a few hours, Union cavalry came through the devastation that was Chambersburg in pursuit of the rebel cavalry. On August 7th, the pursuit ended in a Union victory in Moorefield, West Virginia. The Union troops were heard to shout, "Remember Chambersburg and surrender, you house-burning villains."
The once beautiful town of Chambersburg was in ashes. 11 squares of blackened ruins, and 2,000 people, certainly homeless, dashed to poverty, torn violently from the sacred associations of the past, and driven to wander the streets and countryside seeking shelter and a place to rest.
By evening, chimney stacks and fragments of walls formed a dreary outline of ruined houses. Not a light was left by the fitful glowing of embers amid the rubbish that filled the cellars. The silence of the grave reigned, where often had been heard the sounds of joy and mirth, of praise and prayer. Now and then, a person would walk down the middle of the street because the pavements were littered with crumbling walls. The devastation was massive. When the people were sure that the Confederates were gone, and that the fires had subsided, they crawled out from their houses and their hiding places to see their town laid to waste.
Evening crept in, and terrorists took over the poor people of Chambersburg.
Sadness settled in. The homeless numbered more than 2,000. Many buildings had escaped destruction opened and soon crowded to capacity. Some of the homeless made their way to friends and family in the outer areas of town or other parts of Franklin County. Others headed to the country to spend their first night after the Great Fire.
Chambersburg, founded in 1764 and burned in 1864.
But from around Pennsylvania, from around the Union, people gave, people helped, nourishing the homeless of Chambersburg and bolstered the spirit of community.
Chambersburg survived. Day by day, they rebuilt and grew.
The rebirth of Chambersburg is a testament to the spirit of its residents and the human spirit. We honor that spirit and the history that happened here.
Shit, forgot I was not rolling. This is a remembrance of that day. Sounds cool.
Check it out.
This land is your land, this land is my land. From California to the New York Islands, from the redwood forest to the Gulf Stream waters. This land was made for you and me. As I was walking that ribbon highway, I saw above me that in the skyway. I saw below me that golden highway. This land was made for you and me. I would tremble and follow footsteps, sparkling sands of forgotten deserts, and all around me our voice was sounding. This land was made for you and me. When the sun comes shining and I was strolling, and people waving and dust got rolling, as far was lifting, our voice was chanting. This land was made for you and me. This land is your land, this land is my land. From California to the New York Island, from the redwood forest to the Gulf Stream waters. This land was made for you and me. Oh, this land was made for you and me.